Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
S. Jack Butala for Land Academy. Welcome to our Cash Flow from Land show. We show you how to buy property for half of what it's worth and resell it the next day. Great information and instruction from Jack, that's me.
And inspiration from Jill, that's me.
Jill, here's some funny stuff. But Jill's going to tell us about some funny stuff that happened to us recently.
So here we are back in town, back at our Scottsdale office, and we walk in Steven's office and the balcony's gone.
The balcony is missing.
I'm like, how long were we gone? This is really kind of weird. And Steven has this great door that opens out overlooking a lake. It's really pretty, but I'm like, where did it go?
That brings up a good point. I love construction. I mean, I don't like while it's happening, but when it's done, it's just like all brand new. And
I'm curious what's going to happen? Are they going to take next year? Is your office going to be gone when we come back? Like, what's coming? It's the funniest thing. So, I mean, sometimes, it's really funny. It makes me think about this construction project here is like going pretty darn fast. We come back and I'm pulling in the parking lot. It's all changed. And the bottom floor where we usually used to go up these back stairs, gone.
Yeah.
It's like some big changes. Yet,
like structural changes.
Right. Huge stuff. The sidewalks moved. Everything's gone. So then I go, there's a big residential project going on near where we live in Scottsdale. And, that's moving at a snail's pace now. I'm like, right? I'm going, I don't really see any change.
I think it's all inside now.
Okay, maybe that's it. Okay, we'll go with that. But I'm like, okay, this is kind of funny how some projects go. I think
our seasons are opposite here, so I think they're racing to beat the heat. I think they got it all enclosed inside, and hopefully they're gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you know what? That brings up something too. It's interesting how long some projects can take, and some can go really fast. You and I, we had this one flip that we did. It was I want to say 45 days.
Yeah.
Start to finish.
It was 45 days, money in, money out.
We're talking, and we moved walls and we staged it.
That's how we roll, man.
Built a closet where there wasn't one, and I moved a bathroom. Major stuff.
It's some pretty serious stuff to that.
And it's interesting to me when I hear people that are like, oh, it's 6 months. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because if you really push, you can do it. So
you're all hippie, Jill, but sometimes you're like a drill sergeant too, and I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, you don't want me. I am. That's kind of funny. There's a few projects that I get really involved in, and if I'm packing a lunch and I'm spending all day there, seriously, because I've done that. Oh, we're getting it done today.
That's
we
right.
are not messing around.
Well said.
Thank you.
In this episode, Jill and I talk about flipping houses. We're getting so many questions about our data to doorstep product and how to use it for flipping houses. So, and it's leading up to our next product release, which is coming here really soon. But the episode is this: Let's Flip Houses, episode 1 of 3, how to choose an area to send offers. Jill, great show. Before we start, let's take a question posted by one of our members on successplant.com, our free online community with construction in the background.
Exactly. Okay. Stanley from Oregon wrote in, you guys talk about AWeber all the time. What the heck is it and why is it important? That's
this is a
good.
great question, and I would love to. This came from a forum in our success plan, and the forum started. What email company should I use? And then several of our members piped in and said, I tried MailChimp and it just didn't work.
Yeah, I know. So
you're perfect candidate to answer this question about. AWeber. How much money do we make from AWeber?
I use AWeber every single day. AWeber is just such a valuable tool.
So please start from the beginning, and let's say you have a 40-acre piece of property you purchased for next to nothing, and you're going to sell it.
Let me back up and explain what AWeber is, and then I'll tell. Okay. So AWeber is a place to capture email addresses and then use it to send out emails, whether it's a broadcast your blog or broadcast your podcast or broadcast even you have something for sale, property for sale. It's a place to do that. And it's great because they keep you in check. I mean, nowadays with email, there's just a lot of rules and regulations and ways you have to do things. You have to have your unsubscribe and, all that good stuff. You can't just download a list like we all want to do in Stevenson in the past and just run with it. You can get in trouble for that.
I mean, let me back up one more step. You can't, and I learned this too, in Gmail and Hotmail, and even with a website, and then email, there's severe daily limits about how many numbers of emails you can send. Mm-hmm. The number hovers around 200. So if you want to send more than 200 Gmail emails out per day, you're going to start to run into some pretty serious problems. Aweber is a way around that.
Well, it's
through the opt-in process.
Right. Yeah. It's a legal way to send a bunch of emails and just capture them. That's the bottom line.
And the gist of it is somebody signs up because they're interested in whatever your product you're involved in. In our case, originally it's land. Mm-hmm. People want to get notified when we get a new property in because they're land buyers. Mm-hmm. So yes, after a while, you accumulate tens of thousands of these things. Mm-hmm. And Aweber is a system to allow you to safely and legally notify them.
Mm-hmm. So here's how it works. I have a form on various websites. I use one Aweber account to capture all of it, and it's wonderful. You don't need 6 Aweber accounts. So one Aweber account, and you can divide them up by different groups. Like I have a form on our land selling site that is, hey, you want to be in my Platinum Buyers Club? Sign up here. And I just have created this huge list. They fill out their name, they fill out their email address, they get an email back acknowledging that they really want it, so we know it's all cool, and then they're in my group. And then when these emails go out, when I send them out, I do specials and things like that, or I'm updating what I have going on available. They have the option right there to unsubscribe. It's all cool, it's all legit, and they love it. And one little tip that I've learned over the years too, if you don't bombard them, I can't stand, I know you're same way, Stephen. Yeah. Some people send out 3 emails a day. Don't do that. That's just silly. And you want to unsubscribe your list right away? Do that.
Once a week.
Right. Once a week is great.
Sometimes
unless there's something, depends on if there's something going on, right? Depending on what you do, it may only be once a month, depending what you have going on, or what say you're a realtor and you only just once a month send out your updated newsletter. That's what it's for. So perfect. So what was the other half of the question? There was something about why is it important? Okay, so that's what Aweber is. That's how I use it. I also use it for my ebook. We have we call it our blueprint. You can go on our website, landacademy.com, and it's right on the front page. Click here to get it says ebook, but it's really the blueprint. And you click there, you put in your name, your email address, you confirm it, boom, then the whole PDF file of our blueprint pops in, which is great. What's beautiful about this too is it's all automated. I have it all set up, so no one's clicking there saying, "Oh, I just got one. I got to send this out to this guy." It's automated, so when they reply, "Yes, I want it," it automatically pops back into their email, and you don't have to do it. So it's a great tool. It's a wonderful thing, and we use it because it keeps you legit, I guess that. And it's, you need to do the things the right way.
And you can run multiple lists. Several of our customers are very interested in learning how to purchase property really inexpensively. And so that's the blueprint. That's our blueprint list. Many tens of thousands of our customers, because we've been doing it for so long, really want to be notified that we have a property. As soon as we buy a property, they want to take the first crack at it. Mm-hmm. And so Jill runs a Wednesday hump day special to all the people who have signed up and want to use it. So Aweber is a survival tool, in my opinion. I mean, I think the sooner that you can start Aweber and provide some good content and start to get a following, the better that it's all going to go.
Oh my gosh.
I can't imagine life without it.
Right. I mean, it's just basically, it's a list of your customers. It's the best thing ever. And they've opted in. They want to be your customer.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe. So, do it right. Capture all those email information and give them what they want. So, they'll follow you. What's great is They may not be in. It's interesting how some people like that. They want to be on my property list. They may not buy this one or next one, but they want to be notified. They want to know what's going on, and it's really kind of cool. So it's a great tool.
Hey, this is the meat of the show. The show why we're here today. Flip houses. Episode 1 of 3. How to choose an area to send offers. I get this question on a daily basis about flipping houses as well as flipping land or selling land on terms.
Do you think this comes up more than I almost think this first step comes up more than the actual process? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say right now how much what comes up the most and what doesn't. I know that this is a huge, everybody's different. I'm glad you brought that up. Some people, everybody's got a concern, and it's down, including me. I mean, I did in the beginning too. My big thing was I don't really want to talk to people who call me. So, but a lot of people are like really need to know extra detail about how to choose an area. So, and the way that you choose an area to flip houses is much different than the way I choose an area to buy land. So, and I'll explain the houses here in detail. Jill, stop me if it gets too boring.
I promise I will. I see it coming. No, I'm just kidding.
This
is really a hot topic. Look at all the TV shows. There's way more HGTV shows about flipping houses. I mean, I really want you to be specific on this, Stephen, and take the land part out of it because
okay, that's great.
Because this is really more people. There's not a lot of HGTV things on flipping land, but there sure are on houses.
Great. That's a great suggestion, and it's I take it. So, you have to those HGTV shows concentrate on the actual house being, the renovation portion, but they never talk about how they found the house. Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
So here's how you find the house. You select an area of town where you feel comfortable working. It doesn't even have to be your town. It can be somewhere else. Jill and I choose to use master plan communities. And if you're not familiar with that term, please look it up. It's pretty simple stuff. It's a community where all the houses are built at the same time. It's not where it's back in the 30s and 50s and 60s where the houses were purchased and built on a one-off scenario. So we choose master plan communities. So find one. There are very large ones out here, out west. Out east, there might be 20 or 30. So you're going to need to find more than one master plan community. But once you do that, you can get a real good sales comparison about what houses sell for because they're so similar, what they sell for in that neighborhood. So great. Now you find a similar sales comparison. You get the data for that area, and hopefully it's thousands and thousands and thousands of homes. You manipulate the data to remove all the houses with mortgages, and then you get them an offer. So, but how do you really choose an area? How do you know which ones are going to buy and sell the best? So the thing with master plan communities is it takes a lot of the mystery out of not only for you, but the house, the guy who's going to actually fix and flip. We don't fix and flip. We never have. Jill we've done it a few times and decided that just wasn't for us for a lot of reasons. You choose so to answer the question directly, you need to find an area very specifically where you can find consistent sales comparison values. What you don't want is a house here is worth $30,000 and right next door it's worth $130,000. I mean, some people love that, but I don't. And we have much better luck purchasing and wholesaling houses where there's consistent comps. Because again, I've said it a million times. It's not about the piece of real estate at all. It's about the transaction that you negotiate. It's about the deal.
You know what's funny about that? I was just watching a show on HGTV just about this topic, and it was this cute couple in Orange County. I think we all know who they are. It's Tarek and Christina, I think their name is.
You will know who they are.
Oh yeah, now you know.
I have no idea.
Okay, I know who they are. Anyway, what's so funny, and we're just back from, we're in South Bay area when we're out there, but they're down in Orange County. So anyway, I was watching one of their shows, and they were pulling their hairs out because they actually stepped out of their comfort zone, and they went into a very custom home, and I want to say it was Pasadena, and it was really, to make it work, we're talking getting involved in learning about the architecture, because the people who buy these homes, it's a really niche project even within what they do. So it was kind of funny. They made it work, but in the very end, they kind of said, we didn't make as much money as we normally do. We had to put a lot more into it than we normally do. There was a lot more work. And I think at the end, they kind of decided, okay, we're not going to do that again, because they really had to, it's one thing to, like you're just talking about, a subdivision. I mean, if you know an area and you feel really good about it, I mean, that's what you want to do.
Yeah, Jill,
the subdivision, most of your buyers, we all know, we don't all know, but I mean, you want to sing to as many people as possible. You have if you're into this, you have a good idea what colors work and what flooring works and neutral colors, what most buyers want. But when you get into a custom thing like that, there's a lot more involved. And so I just was using that as an example of what you just talked about, where they were kind of hitting their heads on the wall.
A perfect example of how to choose the right area and how to not choose the right area. So, I mean, if there's one takeaway, here's the takeaway from this whole podcast. Choose an area where the house values are similar. I happen to catch part of the show with Jill that she's talking about, and she's exactly right. So the problem with that whole scenario is that there was a house across the street could sell for half.
Exactly.
And they're going for the top of the market, and so I mean,
because it was that one builder at that one lot.
Just because you're a wholesaler like we are doesn't mean that the house. So it's not someone else's problem once you wholesale the house out. The reason that your customers, who are the people who do the fix and flip, like the people that Jill's talking about, are like the people on HGTV. Mm-hmm. The reason that they work with you and they die to work with you after they've done it a couple times successfully is because you choose the right houses in the first place. Mm-hmm. So you can't buy junk and just say it's a great deal and shove it off on somebody else and let them deal with it. You want to get a house that's 50 or 60% of what it's going to sell for, and turn it over to this guy so he makes more money than you do. That's the whole key to this. That's the takeaway from how to choose an area. Yeah. So this is the if-then segment of the show. If you do X, then Y will happen. If you choose an area properly and mail all the owners in that area an offer properly, you'll buy a house or two and wholesale them each for $10,000 plus per deal. That's what Jill and I make. Mm-hmm. Hey, if you have a question or you want to be on the show, call 800-725-8816. Jill, my favorite part of the show. Do you have some inspiration for us?
I do. So here is my question. How do you motivate yourself when everything seems to be failing?
Wow, man. You know what? This is Jill Day. You know what? I can tell what kind of mood you're in.
Thanks.
I love when you're just all down to business.
Thanks.
Even the philosophical portion of the show is like down to business.
Sorry, I am all business today. And it's funny because, I don't know why. But so Stephen, how do you motivate? Because let's be honest. I mean, there's a lot of people.
I've had decades like that.
Right? Well, think about starting out when you're starting something new. There's going to be failures, and there might be multiple failures. So how do you motivate yourself to not just throw in the towel?
You know what really, really helps me is to not, there's some stuff that I have a real tough time handling, and there's some stuff that there's no matter what happens, I will just barrel through it, and I don't care how many times I fail. So if I have a lot of bills hanging over my head, or some really big picture stuff, like somebody's nagging at me all the time about what my little micro choices I'm making, that tends to really stand in my way. But if I've got that big picture stuff worked out, and all the business things that I'm working on day after day after day just don't seem to be working, I can still get through it pretty easily.
It's good.
The other thing too, I think, is tied back to a show we did a couple days ago, is if you're going to have any emotion at all, you're setting yourself up for some problems. I just think I think it's okay to celebrate, but that's about it. If you're going to get all down in the dumps because somebody called you and said, I would never sell my house to you for that amount, then, that's not a failure. That's funny.
Exactly.
I mean, what do you do?
I agree.
I've never seen you fail at anything. So
it's
I don't
right.
know. Maybe you're not qualified for this.
It's funny because you said something that's the same as how I do it. It's on my list here. It's for me. Oh my God, everything's failing. I can't seem to do anything right. What am I doing wrong? Jeez, because we've all had those. I feel like everything I touch breaks. What the heck? I can't, my IT program is like now I can't even turn on the lights in my office. What have I done? So no, I just take a step back. And for me, really, I remove myself. I have to physically remove myself from the situation. I realign my goals.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? And then I remember the big picture. And then I rally. And sometimes it's hard, but you got to push yourself. You just got to do it. Remember why you're here. Your goals are still there. You said big picture, and I still think of that too. You have to remember the big picture. And I hate to say suck it up, but sometimes you have to suck it up and rally.
Hey, the other thing that really, that's triggered something for me too. If you're proactive instead of reactive, like if something comes into your world, a customer's upset or somebody calls or whatever happens and you're reactive to that constantly, that's a pretty surefire way to fail. The first 2 or 3 times something like that happens, you have to address it. But what you got to do then is put a system in place where you're satisfying the customer in a more automated way.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just constantly reactive, for me anyway, that sends me down the failing spiral.
Exactly. Good stuff.
Yeah. Join us in another episode where Jack and Jill discuss how to use information, that's me,
and inspiration, that's me,
to get just about anything you want.
We use it every day to buy property for half of what it's worth and sell it immediately.
Get there first. Great show, Jill.
Mm-hmm.
You are all business today. What's going on?
I am. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I love it.
I am. I'm normally just kind of silly, happy, fun. But yeah, today I know what it is. I know what. Do you know what it is? Or what do you think? I know.
Well, we're in California for a month.
I know.
We took a 1-week vacation and we stayed a month.
I know.
And now we're back in our offices, and it's time to do some work.
Yeah, where it's like down to business. So, I have to say our staff did a fantastic job about keeping the wheels on the bus. But
They really did.
They really did. But Mom and Dad are back, and the party is over. That's what's going on. And we're cleaning this place up now.
See what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what's going on.
Come over there.
Do you know what it is?
I'm going to come over there and kiss you.
Do you know what it is? It's like Mom and Dad are back, and I just found a beer can in the corner, and heads are going to roll. That's what's going on.
What'd you find?
I didn't find a beer can in the corner, but
you found a beer can in the corner. It might be mine.
I think I would. You would be the first person I would look. So exactly. No, that's just where I'm at right now. I'm like, okay, everybody. I hope you had your fun. Now let's get some serious. Well, because you and I, what happens? You and I take off, and what do? We come back with 16 new fantastic ways to
new businesses.
Grow our business, add businesses, help customers, side projects. I mean, all these things that we're like, oh, awesome. We're going to do all this stuff. And we come back, we're like, what do you mean you guys are busy? No.
I know.
We have more things that we're going to do now. So that's what's going on.
We're hiring new people.
We are hiring. Yeah, it's true.
I can feel it.
It's coming.
Hey, let's go buy something for half price today and resell it. Jack and Jill, information and inspiration.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
Landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.